Hi, I'm Lynette and welcome to my channel. Today I am doing a tutorial on this look right here, and I used my new Coloured Raine Vivid Pigments, and that is what they look like. Ooh, ah. If you like tutorials, go ahead and hit the like button and consider subscribing because I do them along with other beauty related content here on my channel every Saturday. Now, if you saw my last video, my mega collective haul, and if you didn't, no worries, I'll link it right here for you. Then you know that I picked up these Coloured Raine Vivid Pigments. This is Coloured Raine's newest launch, and there are 16 shadows. They sold them as a bundle, and if you bought them during the pre-order, you got all 16 for $45, which is to me amazing because Coloured Raine's single eyeshadows are $6.99 each, and here you're getting 16 for $45. Now, since the pre-order, I believe they are now $55. I'm not sure if they are sold out at this moment, but I think now they're being offered for $55. Coloured Raine also has a magnetic palette to go along with these shadows that fit them perfectly, and you could purchase that for $11.99. I chose not to purchase the palette because I had some empty palettes. This is a Tarte palette, and so I put all of the shadows in here. Now, before we get into this, let me go ahead and show you the swatches. These were swatched with a natural hair flat shader brush and no primer underneath. This is Lemon Drop. This is Cruisin, Splash, Unbothered, Sauce, Party Drip, Cute, Bossed Up, Vibes, and Perp Smurf. All of the swatches needed building up except Perp Smurf and Sauce. These swatched very pigmented. The rest I had to build up with the brush. They apply lighter when you first apply them, lighter in color, exactly the way they look in the pan, but once I brushed them out, blended them out, they all got darker. I was really disappointed with Lemon Drop because it's so bright in the pan, but once I brushed it onto the skin and blended it out, it got to that like mustardy, dull yellow shade. Now for the blue-green shades, this is Jet Set, which is this pretty lavender blue shade. It swatched very well. This is Drip Drop, which is this nice bright baby blue. This is Neo Blue, which doesn't look very neo, and as you can see, it's patchy. It was difficult to swatch. This is Yacht Life. This is the dark blue with what looks like sparkle in the pan, but once you blend it out onto the skin, it doesn't translate. This is Level Up, which is this pretty bright green, and this is Squad, which is this deep green. And all of the shades took some building up. These three swatched the best. The rest of them were patchy and difficult to, it wasn't difficult to pick up the shadows onto the brush, but it was difficult to get them onto the skin and to blend them out onto the skin. These shadows are very powdery, so if you don't like a lot of kick up in the pan, you are not going to like these. Now, before I get into the tutorial, I do want to talk a little bit about these pigments, and they are very pigmented. They didn't swatch great, but they are pigmented. And And I've used most of the shadows. I probably used about 10 of the eyeshadows. Today was my third time using the shadows. And each time I used the shadows, I used predominantly different colors. You'll see all of that in the tutorial. It's not my favorite look, I'm gonna be honest. But this lower lash line, I did it because I hadn't used those shadows yet. And I wanted you to see what they look like and how they performed. Now, first, the thing that I'm not crazy about with these shadows is some of them just don't translate onto my skin the way that they look in the pan. For instance, this Lemon Drop Yellow, it looks really bright, like almost a neon yellow in the pan. But once I blend it out onto my skin, it looks more like a dirty yellow. And then this shade right here, this is a Drip Drop, and as you can see, it's this beautiful bright blue in the pan. And when I initially place it in my crease, the first time I ever used it, it looks like that color, but then once you blend it out, once I started blending it out, it looked more like a bluish green teal shade, but with more blue than green. And then this shade right here, this is Level Up, and again in the pan it looks like this really like bright, almost lime green, but once I blend it out onto my eye, it's just darker. It's more like an army green. It's not really a light like this. So that for me was disappointing. Every look that I've done thus far, the first look that I did, I used the green and the blues and the yellows, and it just came out so much darker. I was expecting it to be really light, bright, summery, and it wasn't. I did the next time use the purples in this palette, and those definitely translate the way that they look in the pan onto the eye. And the shadows that I used today, this one, Cruisin, again, it was a little darker on my skin than what it looked like in the pan to me, but it is that peachy. It's very peachy, as the look of it suggests in the pan. I did a purple look with these shadows with the purples, and the purples all appear to be true to color. The way they looked in the pan is the way they looked on my skin. And then today, I know I did a basic biatch look with these eyeshadows today, but these were shadows that I had not yet used, so I wanted to use those and show you what they look like in comparison to my Viseart editorial palettes. Like, for example, in this palette, this bright lime green, that's what it looks like when I apply it to my skin and I blend it out. This bright yellow, that's what it looks like when I blend it out onto my eye. This green here, this pink, oh my gosh, this pink, that's what it looks like when I blend it onto my eye. So these colors look the same on my skin as they look in the pan. And I just feel like some of the colors, the ones that I mentioned, just didn't really do that. So that was a little disappointing. And the first look that I did using the greens and the blues, I was filming it and I decided not to even continue because I didn't like how it looked. The purples came out really nice, and I thought it looked really good in the tutorial because I was filming that also. But then once I downloaded the footage and I got a look at the final look, it looked really patchy on the lid. It looked like shit. Okay, so I didn't want to use that footage either. And I think that had less to do with the shadows themselves and more to do with my lack of makeup application skills. So I'm not going to blame that on the shadows. I will suggest now, after using a good many of these eyeshadows, that I think the best way to keep them true to color once you put them on your eye is to use a white base. And I did use my NYX Jumbo Pencil in the color Milk on the lid today, and I used it in the first look too, and I did find that that definitely helps keep all of the shades stay true to color, at least those shades that to me didn't stay true to color once I applied them. So I would suggest you do that, especially when you're going to use these pigments on the lid, because they're pigments, they're very pigmented and they're very powdery, and you might experience some difficulties with them adhering to your lid unless you have sort of a sticky base for them to latch onto. I like to use a concealer. In this look today, in the tutorial, you'll see I used the concealer and I didn't set it with an eyeshadow like I normally do. I just went right in with the eyeshadows, and they do grab a little bit, but they did blend out well. I had no problems with blending these shadows. They're pigmented, they all blend out very well. They blend out well into one another as well. They really work very well. In terms of the shades, this is the shade Cute right here, and it's beautiful. And of all the ones that I used, this barely had any kick up. Most of them have a lot of kick up in the pan when you dab your brush into it, and so I would suggest you do that. Just dab, gently dab into it. These shadows, I had no problems picking up color with either natural hair brush or synthetic bristled brushes. It picks up, these shadows get picked up really well with whatever brush I use. And so that's why you want to go in maybe a little lightly at first, because your brush can get loaded up very quickly just with a few dabs, and then you'll have a lot on your eye. But they do blend out very well. And so this one had the least amount of kick up of all the ones that I use. This shade right here, Jet Set, is this really pretty like lavender blue shade. It kind of reminds me of one of the shades in the Kat Von D Pastel Goth palette, but this one stays more true to color than that one in the Kat Von D palette, which turned very dark, very similar to some of these shadows, turned very dark when I blended it out onto my skin. And this shade right here, Perp Smurf, is my favorite. It is beautiful, but all of the purples are beautiful, but this one is really pretty. Every look that I did was very rich in color. So if you would like to see how I did this look today using my Coloured Raine Vivid Pigments, then keep on watching. Today I'm going to start off with the LA Girl Pro HD concealer in the color Cool Tan, and I'm just going to blend that out with my finger, and I'm gonna go into the Coloured Raine Queen of Hearts palette and take that shade Heir, and with my big Sigma E50 brush I'm going to blend that right under the brow bone. That's going to serve as my my highlight, underbrow highlight. Now I'm going to take Cruisin and I'm going to start here with that shade. You know, I used this shade once before already, and once again I'm surprised at how much darker it is on my lid than it is in the pan. And as you'll notice, I didn't set my concealer with an eyeshadow, that nude eyeshadow that I put right under my brow like I normally do, because I don't know why. I think because these shades are so powdery, and I've worked with powdery pigmented shades, very pigmented, or pigments before, and sometimes, I don't know, I just wanted to ensure that it would adhere to my skin. I am experiencing a little drag because I didn't set it with an eyeshadow, but still blending out very well. Now I'm going to take Splash And on a fluffy Sonia Kashuk crease blending brush, I'm going to place that in the crease. Going in with that same brush that I used for Cruisin and with no additional product, just going to blend out the edges of that orangey shade, that splash. And these two don't look that much different to me now that I've put them on the eye and blended them. Like, Cruisin has a little more peach in it, but really, I don't see that big of a difference between the two. What do you think? Now I'm going to take Sauce, and on a fluffy brush, I'm going to see if I can get it to stay on my lid and blend it a little bit upward into the crease. I think going forward with these shadows, when I use any of them on my lid, I think I will use a white base, like the NYX Jumbo pencil in white, to make it pop out a little more. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but like I'm experiencing some patchiness here and here where it's not adhering to my lid. I'm gonna go in with the Milk Jumbo Eye Pencil. And this may be a mistake. I might just be adding another extra layer that's not gonna smooth out, but I'm gonna try it and see what happens. And I'm just going to tap it in with my finger, try to blend it out a little bit. And now I'm going to go back in with Sauce and see if I can get a better result. Maybe I should be using a flat shader brush to do this. I just figured I would use a fluffy brush because I wanted to try to get it up there a little bit into the crease as well. Now I can see that orange, that shade that I put in the crease, the name of which Splash. I can see that orange splash in the crease. Now going back in with Splash in the crease. Back in with Cruisin. Now I'm going to go in with Lemon Drop. I'm using this Sonia Kashuk detailing brush that I just picked up, that I absolutely have been loving. And this is exactly the reason why I wanted it, so I could do just what I'm doing with it right now. Now I'm going to take a makeup wipe and just clean up fallout. Now I'm taking my Scandal Eyes, my Rimmel Scandal Eyes pencil in the color Nude, and I'm putting that in my waterline. Now I'm going to take the shade Level Up and put it on my lower lash line. And not because I think it goes with this look, but because I want you to see what it looks like. Actually, I meant to start with the blue shade first, but I forgot. So I'm just going to put it right here in the middle because I'm going to put a blue shade in near to the inner corner. And I don't know if you see this, but on my skin, it just looks dark. It doesn't look as bright and light as it does in the pan. But it is pigmented and it blends out very well. Now I'm going to take Drip Drop, and using the same brush, I'm going to put it in the first quarter under my lash line. Try not to put it in my waterline, which I'm never successful with. And I have to tap the brush because it will get fallout. And it went a little lower than I would have liked, but I'm using a big brush. And now I'm going to go in with Sauce. I'm going to put it right here to try to give this look on some type of continuity. I really should have used a smaller brush to do this. Now with a wet brush, I'm going to take this shade right here in the Juvia's Place Nubian palette, and I'm going to place that in my inner corner. And these are the eyes completed. Kind of look like Christmas with that pink and that green. I use my lashes in a box number 11s and my Inglot gel liner in the colored number 77. And yeah, this is it. And I finished off today's makeup look with my NARS lip liner in the color Jungle Red. And side note, if you don't own any NARS lip liners, you should really try one. I only have the one because they're expensive, just like everything in NARS is expensive. But it is, oh my gosh, it is so smooth and creamy without moving around. It's just, it's really, really nice. It's better than the MAC lip liners, in my opinion. I know, blasphemous, but it's true. These are really nice, and I really need to, I forget about them, I forget about this one, but I really need to, maybe during another sale or something, maybe look into buying 1 or 2 more of these because they're really, really nice. And then on my lips today, I thought I would round it off with Coloured Raine, and this is the liquid lipstick in the color Cherry Blossom, and it, as you can see, is gorgeous. Just this gorgeous red. And it makes your teeth look really white. All right, so that is the look today, guys. In short, if you like pigmented, rich eyeshadows, then these babies are for you. I believe they are being sold for $55 as the bundle, for the bundle. But if there's only 1 or 2 shades or a couple of shades you're interested, I do believe they are selling the singles as well, and they're $6.99. But I think that the bundle is the best value. But that's just my opinion. Let me know if you've tried these pigments yet, or if you're looking to pick them up. I know from the comments in my last video where I hauled these, some people did mention that they have them, they love them. So I would love to know if there are any more of you out there that have them, your thoughts about them, or if you're looking forward to picking these babies up. If you like this video, please by all means go ahead and hit the thumbs up button and consider subscribing, because I do tutorials, reviews, hauls, and swatches. Can't forget about the swatches here on my channel every Saturday. I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope to see you again next week. Until then, bye-bye.